not a league game because they were in a different league, or were they in the same league? I don't remember.
Right.
But it was against Marshall High School.
Right.
And it was the first game anybody had ever seen me play in. I had played the year before in B, and this was varsity.
Right.
And a guy who had been first string was hurt. And so I was second string, and I came in, and it was, and I was first string after that. They put me in first string.
Oh, so they replaced you with it?
Yeah, they put me in first string after that. And the thing about the game was that as I recall it, and I'm sure I recall it pretty accurately, is that I scored a touchdown on a pass, and I scored a touchdown running, and I also completed some passes. So
that's just a great story, though.
yeah, but that's because of the formation, and which is interesting now because they're going more and more to the formations we used to have. They call it shotgun now.
Right, yeah.
But more and more of that. I mean, I've seen some games, some of the pro games and college games, where that's about the only thing they ran.
There's more options. Right?
Of course.
So, but my question was what was the effect at school, though?
Yeah, the effect at school.
Come out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was known by, a lot of people in my class certainly, and I was known by certain groups. We divided into wheels and gangsters and brains and so forth.
Who were the wheels?
The wheels were the people who were active, usually in one or two of the other things, and were in student government. And the gangsters were, it could be men or women, but they're usually the guys.
Like black leather jackets.
Yeah, we all wore that. We had a uniform. I mean, totally a uniform. We all wore black leather jackets, Levi's t-shirts, white t-shirts, and then a lot of guys wore white socks, and the other guys wore Argyles, very colorful socks,
right.
And loafers. And I'd say 90% of the student body boys wore that every day to school.
Wow.
And when I first came
with black leather jackets.
Huh?
With black leather jackets.
Yeah.
So it was like a sea of black.
Yeah, some were brown, Always a leather jacket. Had to be a leather jacket.
Wow.
And the only substitute that was okay was a Letterman sweater. So then you'd see green for the Letterman sweater and brown and black leather jackets.
And what about the girls?
Girls, they had more imagination.
I guess
they wore different stuff, but they didn't wear shorts, except when they did wear shorts when they played in their games, baseball and so forth, right. And Girls Athletic Association stuff. But they wore sometimes peasant skirts and peasant blouses, very wide skirts and blouses, which are low cut and fluffy, and they wore sweaters. Cashmere sweaters was absolutely number one.
Right.
And they didn't wear pants and they didn't wear shorts, as I said. And they wore skirts, which often were very, very tight and showed them off well. And anyway, the change for me, of course, was to go from, I won't say obscurity, but to go from somebody who wasn't super well known to, a luminary. Just the very fact that I'd had this great game, and we were all introduced. The football team, the first string, was introduced after the game in a thing at this high school called the Greek Theater, where the entire student body population is sitting outside, in a Greek theater style, and we were called up one by one. And man, I have to say, you really love to hear the cheers when you come up.
Right.
That felt really good. And after that, more and more people.
But after that game, I'm just curious, because here's my curiosity, is that you do this incredible game, you replace this guy who's been injured.
Yeah.
And, you score a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then they introduce you.
Yeah.
Were you shocked? I mean, were you surprised at the way you were greeted? I mean, it must have been...
No, I wasn't, because everybody else had gotten some cheers.
Right.
I was surprised I got by far the loudest cheers.
Right.
Only because I'd had that one good game.
Right.
And I really liked it, That was great.
And so you're
But my time came too, because it was just a few games later I got hurt,
right.
and then somebody else had to take my place. All of the injuries that we had in that position were in the same place. They were the left thigh